Hello geometry students. Today's learning target is to talk about isosceles triangles. So the first thing we know about an isosceles triangle is that the two legs are equal. The second thing that we can observe looking at the screen in an isosceles triangle, that when I drag this point, notice those angles are also the same. So in an isosceles triangle, two angles are always the same. And since I have this on the screen, we can see an equilateral triangle. No matter how I change it, all the angles are 60. So in an in an isosceles triangle, we have two legs that are equal. And these are called the legs. Then across from each leg, those two angles that I just marked in red are equal, and we call those the base angles. So two base angles are congruent. We call this the base between the two base angles. And then at the top here, this angle, I'll call it A. Angle A is called the vertex angle. So in this triangle, if I say B and C, angle B and angle C are base angles. The legs are AB and is congruent to AC. And then the base is BC, it's between the two base angles. So on the screen, just to summarize, we have two legs that I'm highlighting in pink. We have the base, which is the non-congruent side. Then we have two base angles that I marked in red, and then we have a vertex angle up at the top that I just marked in blue. So let's look at a couple examples. In problem number 1, we're told it's an isosceles triangle. Across from the legs, the base angles are always the same, so angle Y is 51 degrees. Then we know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if I say 51 plus 51, I get 102 degrees. And then 180 minus 102 will give me angle D, which is 78 degrees. In problem number 3 to the right, across from the legs, these two base angles are equal. Last year, some people like to call that X, and then they would set up a little equation. X plus 82 is 180 degrees. So 2x plus 82 is 180 degrees. We subtract 82 from both sides, and we get 2x is equal to, let me use my calculator here, 98. And then divide by 2. X is equal to 49. So angle Q is 49, and angle P is 49. Some students liked to do problem number 3 a different way. So last year, some people did 180 minus 82. So when we do that on my calculator, we get 98. And then they said, well, those two angles need to be equal, so they divided by 98 by 2, and they came up with 49 degrees. So some people like this algebra method, which I'm outlining in yellow here. others liked this pink method, and I'll leave that up to you. So let's take a look at problem number 2. You could use either method you prefer. So first I'll do the pink method, so I'll subtract 180 minus 42, and I get 138. And then I'll take 138 and divide by 2 because the angles across from the legs are the same. And when I do that on my calculator, I get 69 degrees. If you prefer, you can call the angles x and say x plus 42 is equal to 180. 2x plus 42 is 180. Subtract 42 from both sides. 2x is equal to 138. And divide by 2. Each angle is 69 degrees. If we take a look at problem number 4, remember perimeter is the distance around. So I need to find these lengths that I'm highlighting. Remember, across from the angles that are equal are the legs. So I'm drawing these arrows. So those are the legs, which means the pink and the green are the same, which means LK is 30. So then the perimeter would be 26 plus 30 plus 30. And adding those up on my calculator, I get 86. And it's not degrees, it's just 86 because that's the distance around the triangle. Let's take a look at problem number 5. In number 5, if I draw these red arrows, those are the base angles, and base angles are equal. So the equation would be 17x plus 325 is equal to 53 degrees. I'll subtract 325 from both sides. Using my calculator, I'll get 17x is negative 272. And then we want to divide by 17. And we'll get x is equal to negative 16. So the main idea is if the legs are equal, the base angles are equal. So in problem number 6, we have some more algebra again. Across from the legs, the base angles are equal. So 20x plus 409 is equal to 4x plus 121. We want to get the x's on the same side, so I'll subtract 4x. We'll get 16x plus 409 is 121. Then I'll subtract 409 from both sides. Using my calculator, I get 16x is negative 288. Divide by 16. And x is negative 18. Now to find angle K, I need to plug in negative 18 in for x, so angle H is 20 times negative 18 plus 409. So 20 times negative 18 plus 409 on my calculator gives me 49 degrees. Angle Y is 4 times negative 18 plus 121. Doing that, I get 49 degrees, and that's a nice little check. So each of the angles H and Y are 49 degrees. Then to get angle K, I would do 49 plus 49, and I'm going to get 98. And then I'll subtract from 180 because the angles in a triangle add up to 180, and I'll get 82 degrees. So angle K is 82 degrees. Let's take a look at our last example. This is an isosceles triangle again. And here I have the base angles marked. And I'm going to highlight those in red. So across from the base angles are the legs. And remember, the legs are equal. So 19x take away 6 is equal to 16x plus 3. I'll subtract 16x from both sides. And I'll get 3x minus 6 is equal to 3. I'll add 6 to both sides. And we get 3x is equal to 9. Divide by 3. So x is 3. Now to find each side, we need to substitute the value of 3. So WD is 19 times 3, take away 6. Doing that, I get 51, and it's a side, so there's no degrees. YD is 16 times 3 plus 3. Using my calculator, I get that to be 51. And this is a nice check because the legs should be equal. And then for the base, 9 times 3 plus 37, I will get 9 times 3 plus 37, I typed it in wrong, I will get 64. So I hope you found this video helpful.